All right, section 3.3, solving systems of inequalities by graphing. Section 1 was solving systems of equations by graphing. We have done this before. The only difference today is you're going to graph two inequalities at the same time and see where the shading overlaps. So with your calculators, again, this should be a pretty easy section. As long as you can solve the ones later on for y, you should be good to go. So we have y is less than or equal to 3x minus 4. That's our first one. And y is greater than negative 2x plus 3. So that is a system because there's two of them. And we are going to see where the shading overlaps from these two. A lot of kids choose to use colored pencils. I don't make you do that, but make sure if you just use the same colored pencil that your the region where they overlap is shaded darker. Okay, so using our calculators to graph these, what do we need to do? What do we need to start off with on our calculator to graph inequality? Well, first we would turn them on, right? What? Hit your y equals key. Exactly. Now, if you don't have the inequalities along the bottom, what does that mean? You need to turn the app on. How do we turn the app on? Hit your apps key right here. Apps. And which application do we want? Number 7 on most of the calculators, but maybe not all of them, but it's n equals with a z. N equals with a z, so we go down to that one right there. Or on these yellow ones, it should be number 7. You can just hit 7 and it should start it up. And again, just a review of that, sometimes when you turn that on, it's already running. You just want to continue. So if that's the case, do that. So then we need to change that first equals. Once you turn that on, and once you hit y equals, it should be blinking right on your first equal sign. How do we change that? Hit alpha, and then the top key under whichever sign you need to use, which in this case less than or equal to. So you would hit your zoom button. Alpha zoom, and that should change your sign to less than or equal to. And then we go over and type 3x minus 4. Again, make sure you use your minus key and not your negative key when you type that in. Now, some people will not want to graph both at the same time. You still have to actually hit points and graph your line. It doesn't matter to me which way you do it. I'm going to go ahead and type them both in so you'll see the full screen. So we got to change our second sign to greater than. That would be alpha and your trace button. And negative, make sure you use negative key and not your minus key. So negative 2x plus 3. And hit graph. So it'll graph the top equation first. So you can see there where your region is double shaded. That's the answer. That's what we're going for. So your end result should have that region darkened in, or both of your colors should overlap. So how do we answer the problem? We got to get points from both lines. So we hit second graph, brings up the table. So what's a point from y1? You use your x and then give me the value out of y1. What's an easy one to graph? 0, -4 would work. 0, -4 down here. What's another easy point from that line from y1? 1, -1. Now, should this one be, and your calculator does it for you, but should this be dotted or solid? What? So that's from what? Solid. You got that one out of the other. Pulling 2 out of Y1. Solid. Should be solid because you got the line underneath there. Very good. So once you've got a couple points, go ahead and sketch that. Now, you would have to do a test point here to know which side to shade on. Do we need to do that? No, we can see clearly which side is the Y1 shaded on, the left or the right. The right side. So, we can shade over there. That's exactly what we did back in the other chapter. We got one line, we shaded one side. So in this section, you just have to do it twice. So, we're done with that line. So give me a point that's on Y2 then out of your calculator. 1, positive 1 for that one. And 0, 3 would also work. You've got 2 points off of that one. Should this one be dotted or solid? This one doesn't have the equal to underneath, so it should be dotted. And where would this one be shaded? To the right side. And then what I want you to do, you can see right here is where that overlaps. So whatever you're using, colored pencils or regular pencil, I want you to go ahead and darken in that area. So you can see over here's a solution to one equation, down here's a solution to one of them, and then this area is solutions to both, and that's what you're looking for. What answers work for both inequalities. Again, use your calculators as much as you want to, but you still have to have actual points on there when you graph them. You don't have to do test points. You just get that out of your calculator. Make sure if you multiply or divide by a negative that you flip those inequalities. All the rules that we've covered in the past are still apply. Look at example 2 on page 131. I'm going to write that one up here. That's the parallel case. And there is no solution to those inequalities. One shaded up here, one shaded down below. There is no common area. There's no overlapping area like there was in that first example. So watch out for that. Looks like you only got a few that are not already solved for Y, and you've got several. Here you have x is greater than 3. What kind of line is that? What? That is a vertical line. So on your graph, you just go over to 3, and since that one's dotted, to the vertical line. Now, which way would be greater than 3? Left or right? To the right. The numbers are greater over there. So that's how you would shade that one. You shouldn't even really need your calculator on problems like that. So y equals 3. If this were your system, y is less than 3. What kind of line is that? Horizontal line at 3. And that one would be a solid line. And where would you shade for that one? Underneath, because it's less than. So all this area down here would be Solution. So you have several of those that are pretty simple ones, and then you'll have some where you actually have to solve. I'm going to go ahead and give you some problems to work on. 1 through 4, and 9 through 12. And 36. Now look over at the next page, page 134. Those last two problems have 3 lines. You do the same thing, you're just going to have 3 lines and a really dark reason.